Hey everybody, Ben from the Venrez Rock Band. Some exciting news today. And, we have a new record called Sip the Cup. And the title track, Sip the Cup. The music video released today. And it's also been released on all streaming platforms, from Apple Music, Deezer, Spotify. Um, and it'll be going to radio on February 20th. And it seems like everybody's really digging it, got a great review on it. If you go to my website, Venrez, Venrez, theband.com, uh, join the email list there, and you can read the press release as well as the first review we got on the music video and a single. Super excited about all of this, and can't wait to take the show on the road after they do all the radio promotions, and it looks like probably about June before the band will be touring behind the records. The record company will not drop the full album until before the tour, so they'll probably drop the second single to radio in time to be charting real well by the time they drop the record, and we head out on the road. Super excited to find out what part of the USA we'll be touring and who we'll be touring with. But I'm really excited to have an incredible guest today, uh, Brandon Ray Thomas. And I'll be talking a little bit more about him with him, although he's just an absolutely amazing hip hop artist and producer. And he's kind of known as King of the Beats. I mean, this guy's worked with everybody and continues to. We've been friends for about 5 years, and he's just, hey, I'm in Germany. Hey, I'm in France. Hey, I'm in New York. So by the time he finally moved to LA from Georgia, I moved to Las Vegas shortly after that. So, but I'm going to save a lot of what I want to talk about when we have Brandon up here on the live screen. I want to introduce everybody to the man behind the scenes. Everybody's got a man behind the scenes, and we've got Jason Ebert. He's a partner in all of this, the Venrez Rock Band show, hosted by yours truly, Ven. And Jason handles setting up. I connect him with all of the celebrity type people I want to have on the show, and he's the one that gets them all set up to stream and scheduled, and he's in the background engineering everything. So I always like to give a shout out to Jason, who's a huge part of making this show possible. And I guess this is our third show. Uh, we, we had producer Malcolm Springer, who produced our last record, Sip the Cup. The second show was with a dear friend of mine, the guitar player in Power Man 5000, uh, Taylor Haycraft. And today we have the King of Beats, Mr. Brandon Ray Thomas, and this is one heck of a talented young man. I'm really taking seriously getting back out on the road, so you may see me using a little bit of a vape here. I quit smoking cigarettes over a month ago, and I'm hitting the gym hard with my trainer 3 days a week. In fact, I was there this morning. and getting myself in rock solid shape to be able, excuse me, damn blackberries. Leave all those, they're delicious, but you leave all those seeds in between your teeth. But, you know, this new record is the first time we've had someone produce other than Jason. Jason writes the music, he's the guitar player, and he's produced all of our records except for the new one, Sip the Cup, which was produced by the famous Malcolm Springer, who I said was on our first show, who's, you know, Tantric, Collective Soul, Matchbox 20. He's just worked with everybody you can think of, mixed hits for, you know, everybody from Soundgarden and Nirvana to Kanye West. And the album just sounds great. We used a lot of real talented Nashville players on this record, including you know, the guys in the band. It's a heck of a collaboration. And I'm super excited about the music video coming out today, and the single hitting streaming and going to radio on the 20th. But what's most exciting is the whole record. I mean, you know, Sip the Cup is what the team decided to release first, although all the other songs, I think, are some of the best stuff we've ever done, you know, along with Sip the Cup. And when we started, I didn't think that would be the first one to be released. The song that will be the second single to radio, I thought would be the first. But once we got into the studio and I was doing vocals, it was pretty obvious that Sip the Cup should be the first release as a single. So I'm just waiting for Brandon to come online here. Okay, so without further ado, Jason's barking into my ears, that we're going to do the world premiere on Kick.com of the music video Sip the Cup. So Jason will run that before we bring Brandon on.
Within your bed, safe, warm, and cozy, hidden in your head. Can't use me in your schemes, repeating all these things as different things. Sip the cup, tears of blood, angels watch from high above. Can't use me in your schemes. Repeating all these things as different ends. Sip the cup, tears of blood. Angels watch from high above. What a sight to see, what will never be. Rivers run deep with the hearts of sheep. With the hearts of sheep.
Yeah, I was just smart to only do a one record deal with the. Okay. Hey everybody. So that was the music video "Sip the Cup." It was directed by Dominic G, and he came over to my house here in Las Vegas on January 22nd, day after my birthday, and we set up all the different screens, the black and white screen, and shot all the parts of me. He incorporated with artificial intelligence, and in the artificial intelligence, you can see versions of me that look like me but aren't. Mustache, different. Kind of like a little bit of a different person, and that's part of the hook. Sip the Cup's about a lot of different things. I mean, it's primarily about war and about ancient battles and equating it to modern warfare. And it's also about reincarnation and repeating things. So the hook, so can't use me in your schemes, repeating all these things as different beings, and so Dominic really got that, and so for all of you to really understand, having different versions of me where you think it's me, but it's a different person with the artificial intelligence is kind of speaking to being reincarnated and repeating things you may not want to repeat, but I guess that's up to God or whatever higher power you believe in. So, without any further ado, we have Brandon Ray Thomas ready to go. We're going to bring him on to the live stream. I guess he's there. Can you hear me okay, brother?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Hey, there he is. Okay, cool. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man.
Yeah, I mean,
How's everything?
like so soon after you finally, set up home in L.A., I moved to Las Vegas.
Wow, it's amazing because Vegas is such a cool place for the type of music, rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of rock stars that have moved here. Um, Yet I've lived my whole life in LA. I know you're originally from Atlanta, and
Yeah. Like, um, I think, man, it's always been like a classic city. How have you been enjoying it?
well, living here is so much different than visiting and going to a hotel on the strip. It's new, it's clean. There's no traffic. You got the best entertainment, and the best food in the country. And I live in Summerlin, which is northwest, about 18 minutes from
You there?
the strip. Oop, did we lose Brandon? Or are you back? Can you hear me? There you are. I don't know if he can hear me. We lost him. Hold on,
Just
everybody.
1 second, just got to technical difficulty.
We have a
Hmm
our engineer working on something right now. We'll get Brandon back on.
Okay, good.
Can you hear me, Brandon?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So Brandon's one of the most talented people I've ever met, and
Uh, Appreciate it. Same
he's
to you.
the king of beats, hip hop artist extraordinaire and producer. He's worked with just about everybody, and we're going on about 5 years of being friends, and over that time period, we really want to do some stuff together. I hope we get to do that. But in the beginning of our friendship, I'd always want to talk to you. It's like, hey, I'm in Germany, I'm in Italy, I'm in France, I'm in New York,
Yeah,
and so you had like major artists flying you all over the world to work with him. You want to
yeah.
tell us a little bit about that? Give us
Sure.
give everybody
Well,
a little history about Brandon.
well, started out doing a lot of independent stuff when I was younger in Atlanta, Georgia, and then you realize you can't do it by yourself, so you have to put together a team, and we put together a collective. We did pretty well. We had a few breakout joints, but one really big breakout record charted Billboard. When you chart Billboard for the first time, it's always exciting. Then we kind of started branching out, and I eventually moved to New York because Kanye West was interested in doing some stuff, and you know um, he flew me out there to work on some stuff. It was a pretty great experience, and then I got to do some stuff for Madonna at the same time. Fast forward, that obviously opened up a lot of doors, and I was able to connect with a lot of great people, a lot of relationships still to this day you know that was made possible through. And then the LA chapter is next, pretty much coming to LA, and that's when I started to get to work with some really great people, and like started to get into like alternative R&B, house, rock and roll, stuff like that, like seeing the possibility to be able to do it, because before I was doing primarily some hip hop stuff, but I always wanted to like kind of bridge the gap and bring the sounds together, so it's
Did
great to eventually meet you.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. We can.
Because I moved out to the valley, because at first everybody tries to do their thing in Hollywood, and then once you start doing stuff and getting placements and working with like all the major labels and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, I can chill out a little bit. So then I wanted to move out to the valley because I was working with Bobby Jr. And then you know we kind of branched out there, and that's where I met you, and I was like, wow, this is where all the real rock stars are at, like the real like people that are really working on their music and stuff. A lot of them are more like farther out in the valley and stuff like that, whereas like
That's true. That's
um
true. I mean, Tom Petty lived
yeah,
in the
so
valley. I mean,
mhm.
Graham Nash from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young's out there. Stephen Stills. Yeah, a lot of them were out there in the valley. No question about it. Uh, but it is
Yeah,
kind of funny how we met.
yeah.
Because I was dating somebody at the time who had a good friend who's actually now your wife, right? And so
Well,
that's how we met.
it's crazy, like the everything that's just been like, life has just been crazy, because it's like the way we met, like I never even thought how like long it would be until you know your career started to go even crazier, because I thought when I met you I was like, wow, you're already so big, and then you were telling me like, yo, there's all this more stuff that you're going to be doing. And I was just like, this is amazing. Kind of like how I was like, yo, I'm ready to go here, travel here, do this, do this. And it's crazy that like at the time we met, we kind of saw like how each other were like almost like going to another level and stuff like that. And I feel like
Mhm.
now it's like we've we've had some time to like put out more records and stuff like that. And now it's cool to just see us uh locking back in, you know, especially with like everything like just working like Kick is such a great platform, for instance. I feel like and it's great to see you on here streaming, touring, putting out records still. Like I'm excited to check out that video today. You know what I mean? I think that's
Did you dig it?
really great. Like I looked at a little bit of it. I want to listen to it on the TV. Like I want to watch it on the TV now that it's out on the thing. I saw a little bit before it dropped, but
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
real
mean? Like
impressive if you stream it on a bigger screen, you know. But I
yeah.
think what was funny was the last time I saw you, we were playing a show in the Valley, um,
A
and
show in the valley.
we were playing a show in the Valley at a club. I can't remember the name of it on Reseda Boulevard. Um, and I ran across the street to grab something to eat real quick, right before I had to go back to the club. And then I hear,
Hmm.
hey, hey, Venrez, right? And I turn around, and it's you and Nicole and your child, and that was the last time I saw you. Like, yeah, I moved to the valley. We just live around the corner, but yeah, we were live that night doing a one-off show. We did a lot of one-off shows. I think our first
Hmm.
show, uh, you know, we had just
I remember
toured.
you guys did the Whiskey a Go Go. Y'all did a couple. Y'all were going crazy. Like I was so happy to see just like man, like it's crazy. It's like you have like a relentless consistency to be able to like hook up these records, get them sounding as good as they do. You know, like the records you've been putting out have been sounding incredible. Like the mixes, just everything's like
Well, this
it's like
one's really
next
special,
level.
you know,
Yeah,
because
and then performing them and
Malcolm
stuff too.
Yeah, Malcolm Springer, you know, he's like one of the top producers in the business. In fact, he mixed one of Kanye's hits.
Wow.
He's that diversified. And my guitar player Jason, um, we played Vamped, which is a real famous club here in Vegas. It's actually 5 minutes down the street from where I live on April
Mhm.
14th last year. And 3 days later, he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. So this new record company had a timeline to deliver a product to sign us. And unfortunately, you know, due to his illness, he was not able to tour with us. We toured in August with Buck Cherry, and I brought in Edgar Nieto, who's amazing, and my bass player who did the
Mhm.
backing vocals, Gabe Mask, who's a great singer, and we pulled it off. But this was the first album. You know, it's an EP. Today, they just want a 6-song EP. You
Mhm.
know, on these new record deals, and so and they wanted Malcolm Springer to produce it. It was a prerequisite, and so you know, he produced the record, and I flew back there in December, early December. I
Mhm.
flew to Nashville and did all the vocals with him, and so you know, he produced and mixed this record, and even though Jason was not as big a part of it as he normally would be if he was healthy, I think the songs are some of the best we've ever done. And Malcolm took them to another level. He really did with how he rearranged everything. So I'm pretty excited about it. But I don't have 1.6 million followers on Instagram like you, brother.
No, you got a lot going on though, man. You're really like, man, impressive. It's crazy because like another thing, like the fact that you guys have done so many shows and like so many people like know who you guys are. I think it's just like it's it's just gonna your band and the brand that you got is just gonna keep growing. Like it's just really cool. Like I think the hip hop scene is a lot different than the rock scene in some aspects, but like there can be a band that's like super like popular in the underground and maybe not as much mainstream, but they have like a really nice like following and fan base. And then in hip hop, there can be someone who's really big, but then at the same time, maybe not everybody knows who they are unless you're into that type of
Right.
music. So it's kind of like, but then there's people like maybe like a DJ Khaled where everybody knows this guy. So, it's all,
Yeah, rock and roll is pretty
it's,
similar. My
yeah.
daughter um, would take me to these shows in downtown LA that were in these underground clubs, and
Hmm.
like her boyfriend was the drummer in a band called Moaning, who were signed to Sub Pop Records. In fact, they toured with the Jesus and Mary Chain, which is really the band that influenced Jason Womack. He writes our music, I write the lyrics, and
Hmm.
I saw a lot of great young uh, artists that unless you were part of that scene, you would never know about. But I think hip hop and rap, and pop are drawing a lot more attention. Rock has been in a depression.
Hmm.
Malcolm Springer and I
Yeah.
talked about that.
It happened in hip hop too. This happens in every genre where it'll kind of like, people will chill for a little bit. Maybe that's people maybe people are in album mode though, you know what I mean? And like the pandemic had a lot to do with it. And that's the thing, you guys did pretty well through the pandemic, and after it's crazy. I mean, obviously it probably slowed down stuff a little bit, but.
Well, it did. I mean, we got a record deal in April of 2021,
Mhm.
and our first show in 3 years because of the pandemic, we headlined a Whiskey a Go Go. Uh, it was August 21st, 2022. And from that
Mhm.
point, and man, you know what? It felt like there was never a break. But, I mean, I kept getting older and we lost 3 years. But, God's plan is God's plan. Everything seems to be working out okay. But we did a lot of one off shows, getting ready for the album to drop and do a tour. And because of the pandemic, they released it in February of 2022. And you really shouldn't drop a new album without having a tour book, but we were confident we would
Yeah.
get one. The problem was the promoters and the artists had lost so much money from the pandemic shutdowns that bands that would usually, headline with one support, sell out the whole arena, they were putting like three of them together, like Breaking Benjamin, Bush, and Alice in Chains, and it was
Mhm.
just the competition. It was just impossible to get on anything because everything was so locked up. So we actually didn't get to tour behind that record until August of last year. So we're not going to make that mistake with our new record deal. This new record, Sip the
Yeah.
Cup. But you're a pretty humble guy. Hey, Mac, thanks for being here. A little shout out to you, real quickly. Yeah, it's just I wanted to have you on the show not just because we're friends and I want to do some stuff with you. I want to bring back that Run DMC, um, Aerosmith type of thing. Hip rock.
Yeah.
Put a
Yeah.
we can do
It's
our own.
crazy. One of my good friends, um she's a pretty famous painter, Karen Bystedt. She actually did a collaboration with Run DMC.
Oh, cool.
Shortly after, like after I met you, you were talking to me about Run DMC. I remember she ended up doing a collaboration with them, and they had like a art collab where they had like murals in the subway and stuff. And I was like, wow, it would be so cool to get them like involved with the video or something. Like we did like a cool hip hop or rock thing, because it's so crazy too, like with like we could literally recreate something like with that vibe, like the Aerosmith, like the Walk This Way record. That's a
Well,
classic. So
my band's definitely super on the rise. I'm having you on the show to acquaint you also with my fans.
Mhm.
Because you are incredibly talented and you're very humble like I am, and you're incredibly talented. I mean, your music blows me away. So
That's
We
how I
got to
feel
get
about yours.
together, man, and record a hip rock song together. But I'd like to put together our own type of tour and call
Yeah,
it the Hip
that's what I'm
Rock
really
Tour.
excited about.
Yeah, the Hip Rock Tour, where we've got hip hop bands and we've got rock bands, and
Mm-hmm.
and then you have hip hop artists come up on stage with some of the rock bands and vice versa, whatever, and do a hip rock song
Yeah.
together that they've worked on. So like having you come up, during our set and then doing a song we did together, would be extremely cool. We did
Amazing.
do that once. It was a rapper. His name, he went by Sonny Phoenix. He actually lives here in
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas. He didn't really make it big. A very talented kid. But we did a show at
Mm-hmm.
the El Rey Theater in LA, and he came up and
Wow.
about halfway through one of the songs and started singing with me, and it was just so cool. And I wanted to do it again, but to be able to do
Yeah.
it with
How
you
do you
would be an honor.
I meant to ask you, how do you like Vegas compared to LA? Like being the rock star, being Venrez, like how, like you know what I mean? Like how is it compared to California?
Well, I don't get
Like
bothered as much, that's for sure. I mean,
yeah.
we don't have the crime and homelessness problem. The biggest issue
Yeah.
with LA is the cost of living. I
Hmm.
mean, for half
Yeah,
of what
for
I was
sure.
paying for a two-bedroom apartment, I have a five-bedroom, 4,000 square foot estate. So I've got my recording studio, rehearsal studio. The band comes here and hangs out. We rehearse for 4 or 5 days and go on tour.
Mhm.
And I mean, for half of what I was paying for that two-bedroom apartment I had, I got this house, and it's in Canyon Gate Country Club, so it's gated, guarded 24/7, and so those
Mhm.
were the reasons that I came here. Do I miss LA? Sometimes, I kind of miss it. Although when I do go back there, I can't wait to leave. So I guess I prefer Las Vegas. I
Yeah.
really do. But it's less convenient. I got to go to LA to collab with people, or they got to come here to Vegas. The rock stars and such who live here, they're not really people I would collaborate with. You got Stephen Piercy from Rat. We've played a couple shows with him. You have Jizzy
Mhm.
Pearl from Love Hate, and who actually was singing with LA Guns before Tracy Guns got back. There were two LA Guns for a while because Phil Lewis and Tracy Guns had a fight. And so Phil Lewis had his version, the lead singer, and Tracy had his. So the first tour I ever did, in fact, the first two tours I ever did was with Tracy and his version of LA Guns with Jizzy Pearl singing, but not somebody I would collaborate with. Troy Farrell, the drummer
Yeah.
from White Lion, Gilby Clarke is here.
Mhm.
The guy I'd really like to work with who lives here is Todd Kearns, and Todd Kearns is an amazing musician, singer.
I think I've heard the name.
Well, he plays bass with Slash when he does his when he tours
Oh
with
yeah.
Miles Kennedy, right? When he did,
Yeah.
and we toured with them, So when Slash is not with Guns N' Roses, because they did reunite, just like
Mhm.
Tracy reunited with LA Guns. Um, they it's blown up to some other levels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so cool. One of the things I admire about the rock scene versus like hip hop sometimes is like the collaborativeness and like how it seems like there's a teamwork when it comes to like the credit side, or even if people don't know like that you worked on something, and like because there's probably situations where people work behind the scenes, like if like I don't know, like Metallica or something like if they wanted you to do a work on their album tomorrow, you probably just jump in to work on it, right? Obviously just for the sake of rock and roll, but like in hip hop sometimes that happens, and like it's like kind of like under the table, or like you're new so people don't know. You might it might be a struggle to get your credits and to get like up there, like how you want to be, versus I think in your music scene, like it's not so much about that. So people are more like, the essence of it is in a sense somewhat more collaborative because people are playing instruments maybe, and like really trying to write the best songs they can and stuff like that. Like
Yeah, well, rap
and
and
hip
hip
hop, I
hop,
feel like it's more like,
it's different. There's a special term for it which I forgot. Although a lot of new artists coming up will have a big artist come in and do something with them, or actually
Mhm.
sing with them or rap with them or whatever. You don't see as much of that, in rock and roll. R&B, hip hop, and rap, I think, is a lot bigger than rock and roll. Um, and but things are changing. Rock and roll's been in a depression for a long time, and I hope we can help pull people out of that. I mean, there hasn't really been a baritone like me since Jim Morrison. That's been quite a ways to go. Um,
Mhm.
but I think it's time for you to really bring your
Yeah,
stuff forward, man. Bring your shit forward, brother. I mean, like I mean,
yeah, you've been
God
telling
damn
me
it!
for like, yeah, I
Stop doing
know.
doing everything for everybody else, and just like get your shit out there because you're as good or better than most of those guys. You know, this cat is fucking good, man. I mean, what a talented
Yeah,
guy.
once you realize you've been helping a lot of people and stuff like that, and as even you're like you're a true musician, so you understand like being an artist and also being good at production and stuff like that. It's like because you end up working on a lot of different stuff and helping with this project, that project. But yeah, you're definitely right. Like when I realized that, that's when I got more focused in. Like, yeah, still collab and work with people and stuff, but definitely make sure you focus and like steer yourself in the right direction, because if not, then you'll look back and you're kind of like just worked on all these projects helping all these people. That's kind of how I did feel in like the younger, like I turned 29 in like a couple of days, but that's how I felt like when I was like 18, like because that's what around the time I first got into business. I almost sometimes wish that I got in the music business at an older age, like 28 or 29, like if this year was my first year in the music business, that would be great. But then I also thought like maybe not, because I would have a lot more of a struggle. Like it would probably be even hard for me to get interviewed on your platform, even just anything. Like everything would be harder if like I just literally started just this year, So I kind of do also realize like, dang, it is a blessing. So I do have to like I have a big responsibility. Like there's a lot of new, like the youth, like in some aspect, like looks up to me. A lot of the youth and you know a lot of the scenes that I'm in, they're always asking advice on like how to get their music out there, or how to produce, production tips, or how to work with some of the names I've worked with, and some of the people I work with, like Lil Wayne, for instance. I never even met him, but well, we met before, but like we don't have a super strong relationship. He just admired the record I produced, and he did his own version of it, like stuff like that. So I'm like, man, some of this stuff is like the lottery, and then some of this stuff is just like being like transparent, like how we are on the live, just chatting, like just talking to people and really building a genuine relationships and connection. I think that goes farther than any like
Well,
mega
let me
moments
tell
like
you
every.
this, man. God's plan is God's plan. Everything always happens the way it's supposed to, whether you like it or not. But,
Mhm.
I started this band at 54, you little pipsqueak, at soon to be 29. And I did my first tour at 55. I just got my
Dang.
second record deal and probably my best record ever coming out. At the ripe age of 69, I turned 69 years old here. And
Yo, this is incredible. This is what I'm saying. Like, I
so
hope, like, when I'm here, it's
So when
like
I
I'm
hear
doing
what
the
you're
same.
saying, I'm like laughing to myself. I mean, like, yeah, you were supposed to get all that experience and learn. And,
Yeah.
in music, there are no rules, no matter what genre you're in. Yeah, the majors are looking for that 17 or 18-year-old they can make money off of for 30 years. But in reality, you now have the experience to take it to the next level. And I went out of my way to not make those mistakes of doing all these things for other people. And believe me, I got asked to. In fact, we were rehearsing at AMP for a tour, a very big tour. And that was at the time Alice in Chains was auditioning. They were looking for a new singer to take that band back out because obviously Lane had passed away from a heroin overdose.
Hmm.
And the manager of the studio actually called them and he said, "Man, we've got a band rehearsing here, and the lead singer sounds so much like Lane Staley. I mean, you got to talk to this guy." So we were back there rehearsing. We came out, and their whole team was there. They'd been listening right outside the door,
Yeah,
and they're
that's the
like,
type of band y'all are. When people listen outside the door, it's
so
like
they
you
said,
can
"Hey,"
hear.
they're like, "Hey, can we talk to you?" And
Yeah,
we were far from where we are now at the time, and they're like, "We've been listening to you back there, man. Would you be willing to come and fucking jam with Alice in Chains and think about being the singer?" And I said, absolutely not. I don't want to do it, and I don't regret that decision. And I could have done it easily. I mean,
yeah.
absolutely no problem. I mean, I can sing exactly like Lane Staley or Chris Cornell. Or my range is
Yeah,
like
my
right
boy, I
here.
know what you mean. Like it's crazy. My boy Playboy Cardi asked me to come on tour with him back in the day, and I declined it because I didn't want to be the tour DJ. I'm like, yo, then that'll send me even way farther out. Like I came in to be an artist and sometimes produce. Now I'm going producer DJ. It's like that's gonna send me 5 years back. Like so I was like, nah. Now he's touring with Kanye, so it's
No, I mean
interesting.
that's
Like
all
seeing
good,
them.
but you need to bring your stuff
Yeah,
forward.
exactly.
And I
My
told,
project, and like,
I don't know, my
yeah,
camera's out of focus. So here we go. I, you know what? I just didn't care. I'm
yeah.
writing my own songs. I have a message I want to deliver. I have a
Yeah.
band from
You have
hell.
a reason why you came here.
Yeah, and I'm like, I really don't care about any of that. I just want to do my thing. And if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, that's okay too.
Yeah. But at least you got to do your shit, like,
I'm just going to do my shit, but now I'm starting to collaborate. So I had
Yeah.
Taylor Haycraft on yesterday. He's the guitar player in Power Man 5000. The lead singer is Rob Zombie's little brother, and he came over to my place in L.A. This was before I moved here last January, and we wrote a
Yeah.
song together called Heaven, which is an absolute hit. Um, and it was funny because on the last record and on this record, I kind of sent that song to the label, right, along with the others to pick from, you know,
Hmm.
and both of them wanted that song on the record. And I'm like, well, I wrote that with Taylor Haycraft from Power Man 5000. They're like, oh, well, we're launching Venrez, so, let's just stick with stuff that's written by you guys. And so,
Yeah.
I'm going
You
to
realize
probably,
when you start to get really big, some of those collabs, like being collaborative is dope, but that's not like yeah, like it's not even, it's like, it's crazy. It's like the balance of it all. It's like the labels really don't care about that. Like we care about collaborating with our favorite artists and the fans do too. The fans love it. Like how even us, if we do a crazy collab, like our fans will be so into it. But like, unless there's a synergy and a cohesion between those artists where they can all get in contact with each other and really work together, it's kind of like the label will be like, oh well, yeah, send us your stuff, like stuff that's written by you, like you said. So
no,
that's
I
interesting.
think you and I need to record a hip rock song together
Hmm.
in going into 2025 and get off your damn ass and get things rocking now. You know,
Yeah.
2025 would be a good time to start releasing some singles of collaborations. And I'd like to release that song Heaven with Taylor, and I'd like to release our song, going into
Hmm.
2025. You may not be aware, but streaming television thought my story was really quite interesting. here's a guy who starts a band at 54, does his first tour at 55. I got my first record deal at 66. The first, we've been around a long time, but we never were on radio. Our first radio single hit #2 on the charts, bro. Show me. The second one, each and
Yeah,
every day,
incredible.
hit 17. So we had two top 40 hits off a 6-song EP. And
Like it's beautiful because y'all are really focused on the music too. So that's the best part about it. Like like sometimes like crazy, just like you can tell that the fans really love you guys' music. Like in that's part of what's like keeping you guys here, like just like the fact that you're making such quality shit. Like you know what I mean?
well, it took
Like
14. It took 14 years. So see, the fact that you're about to turn 29 years old with everything you've accomplished, you can kind of look at the path I've taken, and you're really
mhm,
right where you should be right now. But they started
mhm.
filming a documentary on me, which is called
Wow.
"You're Never Too." It's never too late to rock and roll. Because no one's ever done what I have done. I've toured with two guys in the Hall of Fame, Alice Cooper, Slash from Guns N' Roses. I got my first deal at 66. I had a #2 single on radio at 67. I had another top 40 hit at 68.
Wow.
And here I am at 69, and our video and single just released today. Um, and the short, that video was almost at 34,000 views in a matter of hours. So
Hmm.
um, when that movie comes out in September or October, um, and we've got some great people in it. We're supposed to go to LA to interview Robbie Krieger from The Doors
Mm.
for the last interview for it. And we're going to go to Alice Cooper with the sizzle reel to see if he'll narrate it. If not, it'll be somebody commensurate. So by the time
Hmm.
we get to the end of the year, millions of people are going to know who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that could
So
be that could be that could be a great platform. Uh,
like you
to
said, it's
help
God's
propel
plan.
you.
Like
To help propel you.
like you said, it's God's plan. It's like whenever like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like they can't count you out if you're supposed to be here. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna be on your ass like I never have been before to start bringing that shit, brother.
I appreciate it. It's so crazy. You've inspired me so much just through our friendship. And like recently, even this past few days, I've been like re-inspired, like re-energized. It's like, yo, like it's crazy, man. Like
Here's what you need to
it's
do.
like,
Both of us are confident and humble, and so you just need to like bring that together tight, right? And go do what you know you can do, and remain humble while you're doing it. Um, and like when I talk about no one's ever done what I've done before, I'm not, you know, when I walk down the street, people think I'm Howard Stern. When they're like, "Hey, Venrez," then I might be able to say I'm a rock star. My fans and friends can call me a rock star, but I'm not a rock star. A rock star is a guy who can't walk down the street without having everybody know who they are. Um, and of course, the Howard Stern thing continues here in Las Vegas. Whether I'm dressed up or I could be in sweats and a beanie or any of that shit. But I want to see Brandon Ray Thomas's music. I want to see it go somewhere. You got the talent. You got the music. You
yeah.
got the vocal. You got it all going. You got all the connections. You got a shit ton of followers. And
Mhm.
really, right now is the time to do it. And I think
It's
that
crazy. All my young homies, we're all taking so long to finish our project. It's like not even to finish the project. It's like we got projects on projects finished. We're just like analyzing, like, okay, how do we drop it? How do we do? And it's like you said, just like really focusing in, and like being intentional with it and stuff like
no,
that.
I think it's time for Brandon Ray Thomas to be Brandon Ray Thomas on another level. And when I say
Hmm.
another level, you are on another level. But when I say on another level, you need to put your team together to get you out there, right?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because your music and your vocal is just fucking insanely through the roof good, and I'm a huge fan of yours. Um, and I
Thanks,
want
man.
more. Give it more. Give the world more. And I know you got a new child on Earth, and you know what? It's
Hmm.
time to fucking make it all about you, brother. It really is.
Yeah, that's what I realized. It's like the kid definitely changes your perspective. It's amazing, you know. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Like just in
Well,
general, like
yeah, I get it. At 29, I didn't know how to order properly in a restaurant. You know what I mean? So you're way, you, you're way ahead of me. I mean, had God given me, put me where I'm at between 20 and 29 years old, I wouldn't have lived to see 30 because, I'm 69. So
yeah,
that would have been in the 70s. I was 21 in 76. And I would have cocaine, alcohol, and fucked my way to death. they would have they
yeah,
would have found me in bed with a bunch of naked girls dead. So everything
man,
is giving to
just
you at a
like
time, and so it's happening much later for me. Yeah, very
yeah,
unusual. My formula's not been the path you really want to follow in the music career, but you have done it the right way actually, and it's time. You know, it's time. It's time for Brandon Ray Thomas. Damn, Brandon. You know, it's time to fucking bring it, man. It's time to
yeah.
fucking bring it. What the fuck you waiting
Thanks,
for?
man.
You know,
Thanks, man.
you know, have another kid
Yeah,
that
I'm
worked at the
ready.
car wash. I mean, come on now, dude.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm just joking, but I think it's time to make it all about you. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, you're a few days away from being
Yeah,
29. What day is your birthday?
19th, February 19th.
February 9th. Oh, you're an Aquarius like me, or did you make it into Pisces? You're the first day of Pisces?
The cusp. It says it's the cusp, Aquarius and Pisces, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. So I'm definitely an Aquarius. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah, Aquarius, yeah, it's interesting, like the water signs and it's a
Well,
thing, man.
well, I think you got a lot of Aquarius in you. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
at some point you just got to take the bull by the horns and make it all about you. And I got that message. Jason got cancer, and we had to make a record, and he couldn't be a part of it the way he normally would have been, and he couldn't even do the tour.
Yeah,
And
like
I,
he's still him, but it's probably different. Like it's not the same experience in that.
well,
Like,
what I'm
and
saying
you
is,
can't
I
focus
was
so much into the
I
music.
was challenged. I mean, we toured all of August with Buck Cherry. They were very big shows, and I
Yeah.
went out on
Sorry to
that
hear that. I'm
stage.
sure that affected you a lot too. Like, even though you weren't experiencing the symptoms, like you're still experiencing it. Like that's like your brother, probably. You know what I mean?
He
So
is my brother.
crazy.
He's my closest friend on earth, and I'm still feeling
Yeah.
that way, and it sucks. Although that was the first time in all those years I've ever taken a stage without him.
Hmm.
Um, and it was the first time I ever, made a record where he wasn't as big a part of it as he normally is. And that basically was not the optimum thing I would have liked to have had happen. But what it taught me is that no matter what happens, I can deliver what I need to deliver. And no matter who's on stage with me, we're going to put on a great show. And I needed that. I really did. I needed to break away from that because I'm not green anymore. It's not 2009. It's 2024. So, I've been at it for about 15 years. So all of you guys listening, it's a different world today. There are no rules, but you really need to put the work in, and it can take a lot of years and a lot of records, a lot of touring, and before you even get a chance to be in a situation where your music can go to the masses. So
Yeah.
I've been at it for 14 years, but actually, like you being at it all those years too, my career is actually just starting right now. I mean, you can just take all those years and all those other records and shove them off to the side. But this new record deal, this new record, and this new EP, it's like it's really all just starting now. And that's what people don't understand. And it should be the same for you. I mean, now is the time. What are you planning to do? Tell us all about what your immediate future plans are with music.
Well, first, um, honestly, I have the album that I feel like is one of the greatest albums I've ever done. I'm ready to release it. I did a lot of it in Israel. I worked on some of it in Morocco, um,
Cool.
Spain, Belgium, and the sound is just very like just
It's all mixed and mastered.
deluxe.
It's mixed and mastered, ready to go.
Vibey, yeah. I had some of it mixed and mastered. My boy Serge Side, he did Hips Don't Lie for Shakira, and he did like a lot of he did American Boy for Kanye, like all these big records. He mixed it. He's like the Fuji, Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, like he's their main engineer, like back in the day and still now. He mixed it, and he mixed a couple of the singles basically, but the rest of the album, I didn't go super deep into the mixing phase. I focused like the mixing budget more so on the singles, and then some of the other ones I kind of mixed them myself or had some, of the younger engineers I know work on them, like because
Well, that's the
I
way it
can't
is
have the
today.
Grammy guys on every song.
You just start dropping singles.
Hmm.
Let me ask you a question. I've heard some of this record, and I know how fucking fabulous it is. Are you planning on um, doing this all on an indie basis? Or do you have a label
Um,
or partners that
I
are going to be working
I
behind
was
it?
doing it independently. I was doing it independently, but I think I'm ready to partner with a label because the reason why I did it independently for so long because
Well, I did
I
too.
had the time. Felt like I had like unlimited amount of time on my hands.
Well, I had no choice.
Mm.
I had to go indie until I got a deal. But I would think that there's a plethora of labels that would love to be working with you, my brother.
The hip hop ones that I was meeting, like the labels I was meeting, like even Universal, all this the different stuff. I was just like I was in it to like make sure that to get records done and to just like I don't know, like I wasn't as focused on myself. Like I was focused on more of like building teams and like, getting artists out there and getting music and stuff out there
That's
because
right.
I had felt like I like had to pay my dues and that a lot of people helped me. So I had to help all these people do this and this. And then that snowballs into like eventually, obviously everybody in the
That's why I want to
entertainment
have
world
you
has
on the
some type
show
of
today
side
because I'm
business.
lighting you up, brother, motherfucker. I'm lighting you up. You need
Yeah.
to. It's
Everybody
time to
somehow.
stop that shit and make
Yeah.
it all about you. You've given away.
Yeah.
Look, you've given back tenfold, brother. And you know what? It's not just that. You're robbing the world of your music and your talent. I mean, dang it. It's time for, you need to start looking at
Yeah.
it that way. You have a message to deliver, and the world's waiting to hear it. And, that should be your motivation, really.
Hmm. See, that's why I don't mind doing it independently because I was like, it's about the music. It's about the music and just connecting and building genuine relationships, right? But then the labels make it easier for you to separate your music life and your personal life in some aspects and treat the music more like a business and stuff like that. So that's why I do admire the labels and stuff like that. And I love working with the major labels and I'm definitely, looking forward to like I just had some great calls this week and stuff actually even yesterday like and I'm looking forward to doing more stuff with the labels obviously, you know what I mean? But I want it to be the right situation. So I'm still open to like shopping with different people, and I took a while off during the pandemic when I was traveling and stuff. I was in Paris during the pandemic, like
Yeah,
when the
I
world
know.
started shutting down. I was in France, so I was living there, and I thought that I was gonna move there because they were like, either you come back by this date or you might be stuck here indefinitely. And indefinitely doesn't mean forever, but I was like, yo, what do you mean indefinitely? Like, you know what I mean? So
Well, that's what happened to my
now I'm
drummer.
kind of
My drummer's from France, and we got
yeah,
the record deal. There were 2 songs we'd already recorded he was on, but they wouldn't let they wouldn't let anybody leave France, and all the studios were closed. So
yeah.
I called my friend Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction, and he drummed 4 of the 6 songs on the last record, which was kind of
Wow.
cool. But I know you were there because I follow you. And so what
I'm
happened?
plugged in.
You ended up coming back to the States?
Um, yeah, I ended up coming back to the States because I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like you realize, like, yo, like you realize, like, we really chose this path as like our real lives. Like we're real life, like entertainers, rock star, musician, whatever. But we're like, we're some hip gentlemen. Like we make music, we move, we shake, all this stuff, right? And I'm like, moving to Paris for real? Like I kind of got shook. Like, dang, like never come back. Like sometimes I'm like, dang, I should have did it. Like it would have been now. It would have been like year 4 in Paris. It'd be like, Je m'appelle Brandon, s'il vous plaît. Like you know what I mean? Merci beaucoup. I'd be speaking full French now, but it's like I was like, that's a derivative almost 2 left. Like, then I have to dedicate myself to the French language, uh, move here, get an apartment, like all the real life stuff that you would do in LA. But in Hollywood, like getting your on your feet in Hollywood is already a process. So I'm like, dang, I'm about to do this in Paris, and I was like, nah, I'm not ready. I'll take like a couple years still in America to kind of see, navigate more. And then, now I have a kid and stuff, and everything's great. And I still try. I've been to 16 countries, so I'm not really
That's right.
like uh new to traveling or anything. But I was like, whoa, this would be moving there. And I was like, okay, so move to Paris, then get a record deal out here. Then I was like, that sounds like, what if that doesn't happen? That's when I started to be so much more grateful, especially during the pandemic, for like the fact that I even exist in this ecosystem of like the music business, and that people know who we are and stuff like that. And that even like my relationships with people like yourself, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like a lot of people that would try to get started on their music career in the pandemic or something, like they would kind of go like this, like just give up almost, like, because it's like, where are you going to perform, who's
Well, look,
listening, and
you
what.
made the right choice. You're in LA.
Yeah,
You're in the right spot, and you can hook up with a label, or if you've got the cash behind you, you can
I
shoot a
mean, we got
video.
some cash,
You
but
can do your own, you can do
yeah.
your own radio promotion and hire your own publicist to do all of that shit. But
Mhm.
the thing
I
about
like
having
it that way.
you could be
I like it
independent. You got
independent.
1.6 million followers. Yeah, if a
Yeah.
100,000 of them buy your fucking record, you're in good shape.
Exactly. Yeah. And just the events and the like, we're real, like we like to connect with people. So like events and like community gatherings and stuff, is we're pretty good at that stuff. So it's like, yeah, indie is it seems great. But I do think that on the business side, sometimes it's a little bit more lucrative and fun to like kind of like let some other people help take the reins in these aspects, if you're educated also on what's going on, which is why I kind of took my time a little bit,
That's why I
and I.
finally, that's why I took this record deal because,
Mhm.
we finally signed with a record company who loves us, who believes in us, who pays for everything. And, it's not a 360 deal, but we did give them half the publishing in perpetuity. And they have licensing rights for 10 years and everything's recoupable. So it's similar to a 360 deal, although not quite. Um, but
Wow.
I've
Really
I
cool.
can't personally financially push this the way
Like
I
you
would
can, but
want.
like
No, I
you
really
can, but
can't.
it's like
I can't do that anymore. You know, I mean, the pandemic.
yeah, like not anymore. Like yo, we've spent millions of dollars in the entertainment business. This is
I think
crazy,
I've spent 1.6 million over 15 years pushing this.
bro. Yeah,
Although you know,
definitely.
I
Same. I
produce
spent a couple million too. It's crazy. It's crazy because we don't
it
realize it
is.
until over time. You're like, and you just look at how it all added up, and you're like, damn, that's a lot.
Well, all I got to do is blow up and have 100 to 110,000 people.
Yeah, like you
You
didn't
know,
waste the money because you put it into
buy
good
my
use. You put it
records.
into yeah, and your career and stuff. So it's gonna all pay off. It's just like you know, it's a lot, and it's like you got to make sure you're on point and consistent. Right, especially in the new situation you have with the label and stuff. You know,
Well, I got
because it's
four.
like
I got four indie records out, and you know, obviously the one with Pavement Entertainment and the new one coming out with Wake Up Music Rocks. Although, if we blow up, people are going to want to buy all your music because they want to hear everything that happened. So basically, at $10 a physical CD, you know, I'll, if I sell 100,000 between all four records, I got most of my money back. So hopefully that might happen one day.
I be having dreams, bro, about like us doing music and like the the shows being packed out, like lying around the block, and there's like people basically like buying the merch to the point where there's no like to where the merch is sold out and like buying the physical copies, like the same type of thing, like basically like almost pandemonium over this product. Like they're gonna they're gonna go so crazy over it. You know what I mean? And
Well, it's
I
that's
really just
definitely going to happen, and I've experienced a little bit of that, but not on the level that you're talking about. But our last tour before the pandemic, um, we we sold out of everything after the first
yeah.
5 shows. We had nothing for the rest of the tour, and
Hmm.
on the last tour we did, uh, we sold out everything we had 3 shows before the end of the tour, so we had nothing for the last 2 shows. We did play Milan, Italy, with Buck Cherry and Hardcore Superstar, which was sold out. They were lined up in the snow, for 3 hours on a Sunday. Alcatraz, which is the place to play in Milan, and
That's
so
crazy.
I've kind of seen some of that. When we did the Super Bowl show on tour with Fuel, we played the Super Bowl Village show where they had all this entertainment for a week before the Super Bowl game, and our
Yeah.
opening act was the Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders.
Dang.
We got paid by the NFL. I still have a copy of the check from the NFL. But there were
That's awesome.
73,000 people out there, and they had jumbotrons for the whole fucking city. And I want to do that again. Um, it's been a while since I've been on the big stage. Just a lot of club tours.
And it's crazy because the way you probably thought that you would have got to that, anybody who's had these big moments, the way that we thought that we would have got there to that moment is usually so different than how it ends up. Like it's crazy. It's like you actually did that. Like you know what I mean? That's like one of your experiences. Like that's so big. Like the Super Bowl, being at even if it's like a pregame type of thing, even just like being in that environment, performing in front of 73,000 people, it's like that's a lot of people. If that can be leveraged properly, like over and over and over, because it's like, you know,
Well,
obviously we
I
love the
got to tell
music
you
and
a
stuff. But
story
like,
about that, which was funny because we were on tour with Fuel and we were limited to a 30-minute set, right? And the NFL wanted us to play for an hour, okay?
mhm.
And so we had to go out there and play songs we hadn't played in a couple of years. And there were some songs we had to work into the set that the band had never played live, right?
Wow,
So my
Huh,
bass
how was
player and
that?
I were walking around on the tour bus, kind of like, with our buttholes puckered. My guitar players, Alex Kane, Jason Womack, and my drummer, Ed Davis, huge rock stars who played dozens of shows for
Was it
30,000
hard for
people.
them to play the songs like that? You guys
So,
never
hey,
rehearsed?
we walked out there and we did it. And, bro, you know what? We didn't have any time to rehearse it or whatever. We just said, this is it. We all listened to recorded versions of demos, things that have been released an hour before the
Yeah.
show. And we went out there and pulled it off. And I mean,
Mhm.
by the grace of God, we got it done. But things like that happen on the road. When you're touring with another, you're not headlining. You never know what can happen.
Mhm.
And the last show of the tour with Fuel was at the Hard Rock in Biloxi, Mississippi, and it was Mardi Gras. And I remember we left the stage, and I quit drinking. I don't drink alcohol anymore, but at the time I drank.
Mhm.
And I went backstage and I drank a whole shitload of Jack Daniels, and I went over to the merch booth, right? And I'm at the merch booth, and I'm just having fun. I'm drunk off my ass, and then Brett Scallion's the lead singer. He's like, "Hey, Venrez, come on up here. Let's do a song together," right?
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay. So we went up there and we did Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty. It's actually on YouTube. Somebody filmed it. And that was the first time I went on stage and sang, with another singer from the headline band. And I've had that. I just absolutely love that. That's when I knew I wanted to collaborate. But that was a real funny show. But we pulled that one off too. I remember looking over at Brett as we were going into the second verse, and I'm like, "Are you gonna like which one are you gonna sing?" Because none of it was planned. He just did it. And he looked at me and he kind of like mouthed, "I don't remember the lyrics, right?" So I sang that first. It was the crowd loved it. It was a lot of fun. But enough talking about me.
No,
Let's
that's
talk
crazy
about
because
this
like,
record. What the fuck are you going to release this shit? Are you going to drop a single? When are you going to talk to a label? What are your plans on
well,
doing something with this? Because it's time. It's time, brother.
honestly, I was gonna surprise the fans and drop something, maybe potentially for my birthday, and then talking to you and talking to it's crazy how stuff happens either way before and then it releases after. Like people will shoot a music video a year before, almost sometimes even two. I've seen people shoot a music video 2-3 years before and then drop it like a couple years later. And then I've seen some people do a song and then drop it the same week. And then I've seen some people have a record and map out how they're gonna drop it for a while. And I'm kind of caught between those things. Like by time like I was waiting, I was I was in negotiation with a couple labels and stuff, and I was waiting for so long. By the time it got to the point where they were ready to drop the label, like I was dealing with some folks from Universal for a while. Just by the time it got to the point where it's ready to drop, it's like I had already had another album. I'm already like, yo, I'm ready to drop the next album. And I'm like, what about this? And so now I'm like, okay, I have to release this album that I promised to my fans, of course. And there's mad people waiting for it, and people have heard a bit of it. It's really good. I worked on in 6 different countries. So I'm like, okay, I put a lot of money into it. I spent like a lot. Like I say I put at least 100 grand into that project. So I'm like, I can't waste this album. So, like you said, maybe I will just drop a single and then negotiate off of that single and then put the album out with a major.
That's
Like
what
I
I
would
would.
love to do
That's
that.
what
Like I
I
would
would
love
do.
to be like how the weekend. I like how the weekend is super big and he has his brand. He's always touring stuff like that. And I used to work with some of those guys like Metro Boomin and Sunny Digital, like the guys that produce some of his stuff. Like I grew up around some of them, so I'm kind of like, okay, a major label is going to probably want to support me, and I'm going to have to be ready as far as like with the album and stuff. But it's like now I have the projects ready, whereas before I was still trying to like work on the projects. I would be like going to label meetings, then going back to the studio, touching up records, playing labels, like playing like Sony Republic, playing these labels like music that's kind of like still being produce like unfinished records. Like I would bring out my laptop and open up my Logic Pro or FL, Ableton, whatever. Like I'll show them different beats like that I could work on multiple DAWs. Like, look, this I'm
Hey,
working
brother,
on.
there's nothing,
And it's like,
that's a real problem to have, to have the next album already ready to go. Jason and I did an electric acoustic record together, which we call the Venrez Godshot Project. I've had that thing mixed, mastered, and ready to drop since 2015. Yeah, and so I've been sitting on that for 8 years because my fans aren't
dang,
ready for it yet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that the time will come. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
a
that's why it's great talking to you because you talking to different artists and musicians, ones I'm pretty close with. You get to see like just how um everything is. And honestly, bro, with my
excuse me
boy,
1 second. I just need to take a bathroom break here real quick.
mhm,
I can't
that's
hold it
cool.
anymore. I'm gonna piss my fucking pants.
I'll put
You want to do a
the music
5 minute
video
break?
on.
No, you keep on talking.
Oh, work. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep on talking. I'll be like 40 or 50 seconds. But you're talking to my
hmm
fans, you're talking to your fans. Keep talking
hmm
about your
So,
plans on what you're going to do about dropping the single, and I'll be right back.
hmm so I basically decided, guys, basically with this new single, the whole thing is like making sure that like I care about people. So I want you guys to have the best experience. Like one of my friends that, you know, helped my boy Breland, he helped put me in the music business. And he was telling me like it's about giving people something that they can't um get at home. And, he grew up around LeBron and all these type of people, and he saw LeBron James go from, you know, um high school guy to mega legend, right? Superstar, whatever, basketball player, right? And I want to have a great career, and I seem like I've had a decent career so far, but I want to me, like to some people, it might seem like I'm at level 10, but then to the person that's going through the journey, they might feel like they're just getting started almost. So I want to level up 10 times past what's going on now. So it's like I want to do it right and make sure that you guys have the best experience of the music. Like at first it was like, okay, let's get this record done. Like back in the day when I was super indie, trapped out doing the Atlanta hip hop stuff, it's like, okay, we need to get this record done and we need to get it sounding as best as we possibly can ourselves and then put it out. Now I feel like I'm competing on a global stage. I've been to every major city there is, and not only me, a lot of the peers that I work with in the business, like even people like Venrez, like my bro, he's been everywhere too. So it's kind of like, okay, you're dealing with heavyweights and power players. So it's like making sure that you give the fans that best experience. Like you don't want them to hear like a unmixed record anymore or like something that sounds too demo or like unless sometimes obviously it's just the music or whatever, but you know you want we're making such great art that it's like we want to present it as beautifully as possible so that the people that are celebrating these moments together or wherever with us are getting the
Well,
highest
you need to make that
resolution
choice.
that they can.
You're going to keep doing what you did for years, working and doing things for all these stars, you know, or is it time to make it all about Brandon Ray Thomas and really
Yeah.
stop and focus on your career because you are a hip hop artist and you're an incredible artist and your music is amazing and it's just absolutely blew me
Yeah.
away the first time I heard any of it. And yeah, you've laid the groundwork internationally. So it's time, man. It's time. And I hope you drop a single soon. Make sure you let me know. Keep me informed of all of that.
Thanks. For sure. I will. It's man.
Because I want to have you
It's all
back
come
on the
together.
show. Yeah, I want to have you back on the show after, down the road after
hmm
that releases, because I know you're going to blow up through the fucking roof, man. I've known that
Yeah, I'm
since
in
the
the
day I
Bay
met
Area
you.
right now, but even just everything that's going on, just even talking to you, like, just man, I moved.
Oops. I've lost his. I cannot hear you, Brendan. I've got Jason Ebert, my partner
Yeah.
manager. Okay, he's back. He's got us on here. You know, I might be on your show after you blow up with that single. It could be my show, or I might be on your show because you know I know you're going to be doing your own streaming show here on Kick. It's time for you
Your
to do
sound is
that
not
too.
coming through.
Okay, we have a little issue here. Is it Brandon's sound or me?
Yeah, it's Brandon's sound.
Okay. You want to shoot him a quick text so he knows that for some reason we can't hear you?
Oh, my mic was muted. My fault.
You
Yeah, you
bastard,
guys hear me?
you!
Hey, this is all life. This is what life is. This is what live streaming is. It's all about making the mistakes and fucking up. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
So
so it might be your show on Kick that I'm on to talk about after you fucking blow up with your single.
yeah, what I was saying is like I honestly like I moved out to the Bay Area because, I wanted to be able to stretch what I was doing. Since I'm independent, I only have a certain budget to put into music. When I have it, I'm like, okay, I put a lot into music, but I was like, dang, I could be stretching the budget more and doing more stuff with it. So I'm like, okay, the Bay Area is going to be better. I'm going to be able to do more, and I'm pretty close to Vegas now. So I could see us locking in soon and stuff. And, I still want to fly back out to LA, check on my people out there as far as like my collective and see what they've got going. Got some like, pretty solid fan base in New York and stuff. Like, so I'm
Well, I got a
excited to
recording studio here, brother. I think
Vegas.
maybe yeah,
Yeah.
right on the other side of my. I'm in my home office,
I've been dying to get back in the
and
studio, man. Like, and
right
just
on the other
work on new
side of my
music and
screen
stuff.
is a whole recording studio, and you know we can program the bass and the drums and all that shit. We can sit down here
Yeah.
and come up with the melody and write it, and you know we just need to get together and write the song. Even if I got to come to LA, do you got a
Yeah,
studio there?
honestly, like after I know you met my bro Bobby Brown Jr.
Yeah,
Back when we had met, and like after he ended up having he ended up passing away, overdose, whatever, and
not too
that was
long
very
after he was
sad.
in my house. You know that was
Yeah,
wild.
and I think yeah, because we were on the valley and he had met you and everything. He was excited just to like see. He was even like, "Yo," like how you said, he was like, "Yo, it's time for you to go crazy, Brandon," like for real. And he was telling me also to obviously I was helping, with some of his music and management and stuff, but he was telling me to like really focus on me and stuff because I'm still young and I'm a power player and stuff. He was like, make sure you don't take for granted like all the stuff
Well,
that you've
I
done
gotta
and how much you
interrupt
put
you,
in.
bro. Like you know, there are moments. See, the thing you get when you get older, you get wiser. You know, that was God talking to you through Bobby Jones Jr. because he was ready to blow up. His shit was through the roof. And
Yeah.
about
And
6 months after I met him, he was dead at a very young age, sadly. And so
yeah, so
his message, you know, he was that was God talking to you through him, saying that to you because you know what? 6 months after he said that to you, he was gone off this
yeah, so
earth.
now I feel like we like almost like I almost owe it to him to take this stuff like really seriously and stuff and like now that's what made me kind of slow down and want to like focus in, actually do it right. I started saving up more money than ever. I started fundraising. Like it's crazy. Like I pushed myself past the limit after that point. After like taking a break for a second, then started pushing myself. I'm like, okay, I need to really save up and do this right, and like really do this on like the biggest scale that I've ever done it. And then after that, do it again on a bigger
Hey
scale, and then
man,
after that, do it again on a
you've
bigger
got
scale.
you know over 1.6 million followers on Instagram alone. You could easily do a GoFundMe at this point and fund the whole goddamn project. You know, and whatever
Mhm.
it takes. Although
I
I
just been doing tech stuff and collabs behind the scenes. Like I'm pretty internet savvy, so I figured
okay,
out some ways to basically make these like engagement groups where I can talk to more than a couple people at once, like talk to 20, 30 people at a time and kind of
Right.
get them, involved in some of the projects or like support wise, like, and I'll do that for people, help with, engagement, help them get their projects out, right? But that's cool and all, but the real part of it
You
is
see,
like,
you keep talking about other people, and I want to go back to something you just said about a minute ago.
mhm.
You know, because you keep on going with that.
Yeah,
You
so
said you
I
said
was doing that and I took a break to save up, and then now I feel like I'm ready to jump back
well.
in. But
Let me finish real quick. You said, quote unquote, I really owe it to Bobby Brown Jr. To to go out there and do that. You know what I mean? No, you don't. You owe that to yourself.
mhm.
And I want you to take a look at that, brother. You know what I mean? I want you. The message with him was super talented. Father's incredible fucking star. You had the great team. You were on it. You had a great music, everything to look forward to, and he made a mistake I would have made if I had been where he was at his age, which I talked about earlier in the show. I wouldn't have lived either. I probably would have gone the same way he did. But no, you don't owe anything to anyone when it comes to your career. You owe it to the hip hop community of the world to deliver them your music for you and for them. That's really what I want to say on it, because you keep coming back. You're still kind of stuck in that mode of all these years of working with other people and doing things for other people. I've said it throughout the entire show. When are you gonna make it all about you? It's time,
Yeah.
man. You're not 18. You're about to turn 29. You're right there. You
And that's
look
why they
like
were
you're
even
fucking
probably,
18.
yeah.
You look
Yeah.
18. I'm 69. I look 45. But you're 29 here in a few more days, you know, and you look
Yeah.
like you're fucking
Dude.
22 or 3 years old. Just keep, I mean,
That's probably why he told me that to even inspire me to more even focus even more on myself
I don't think
because
you need
yeah.
any inspiration from anyone but yourself, because that's where it
No,
comes
but
from.
just a reminder because also just seeing like there was certain things that obviously being, the son of Bobby Brown and, Whitney Houston is his stepmom or whatever. Like there were certain access and different things that he was able to do in his life and career that like were super like, unique and I thought it was really awesome. And he was telling me like, he's used to this type of stuff and he was just saying like, yo, like the more we focus on the music and stuff like that and really just make the best product that we can, all this type of stuff is going to consistently happen. Like these doors are going to always unlock for us, like basically. And I definitely believe that now, seeing like some of the stuff we were able to do and some of the people we were able to connect with and work with and different stuff. And now, like that's when I kind of realized like, okay, now it's really is time to focus on me and stuff. But that I brought him up to say that's kind of why I took a little break, honestly, for a little bit. I think it happens to every big celebrity or entertainer when somebody close passes, they sometimes take a little break and stuff.
Yeah, well, that
But
that that
can't take too long.
that shook you up. It shook me up. I mean, it shook up the whole industry. You know what I mean? But here's what I got to say to you, because you were talking about doors and unlocking doors. Okay, your fucking door is unlocked and wide fucking open. If it opens anymore, the hinges are going to come off. You just got to walk
Yeah.
through it, brother. You just got to walk through the door. You just standing there looking, walk through the fucking door. It's wide open already.
Hmm.
Wide open. As far as it can possibly be wide open without ripping it off the fucking hinges. Okay? So
Yeah.
walk through that
Thanks, man.
fucking door and do what God put you on earth to do. You know,
Hmm.
the angels are behind you, because you know what? You could have easily, be buried in the ground like Bobby Brown Jr. is.
Hmm.
I could easily have been gone a long time ago myself, and I was a pretty bad boy during the pandemic, and I probably had a few situations where, you know,
Yeah.
I possibly
You're right.
might have made a mistake like Bobby Brown Jr. Um, but I gave it all up, and I've come through it. I stopped smoking, I
Yeah.
stopped drinking,
Yeah.
and I go to the gym 3 days a week, and I work out with a trainer. In fact, I was there this morning,
Yeah.
and I'm
I've
feeling
been falling
great.
off the gym, but I've been trying to get in there as much as possible too.
3 days a week, every Monday and Friday at 10, Wednesday at 9. My trainer is a
Hmm.
former professional boxer, a very very well known professional boxer, and
Hmm.
um, you beat the shit out of me. I mean, I can feel my abs crying right now. But when we get on tour in June, by the end of April, I'm going to be back in my former mid 20s Greek god mode.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of yourself. You're still young, so
But still, like you're just telling me all these different aspects are part of your career. So it's like you working out is just as important as you making music and like eating healthy and you know connecting the dots,
I'm
all that
eating
stuff.
healthy. I'm not drinking. I gave up cigarettes. I'm still on the vape, but when this dies, I'll throw it
Mhm.
away. I'll have a few days of
Yeah.
uncomfort.
I
That'll be
still
the end
smoke
of
weed sometimes and some a little spliffs and tobacco, but that's really
I
bad.
gave it all. I gave it all up. You
I know I'm gonna quit cigarettes and everything. Like I
know, I
know,
gave
like
it
bro, I
all
realize this is
up.
like
Yeah. Well,
you're
I'm
really focused in.
69. I'm not 29. Everything's starting right now. Jagger's about to tour again at 80. I
Yeah.
look a lot better than he did at 69. That's for damn fucking sure. And
Yeah.
so I figure I've got, 10 to 12 years where I can easily keep doing it. So I need to get in excellent shape. I already have a pretty powerful vocal. When the music starts, you know how it is. That adrenaline kicks in. Although being in
Hmm.
great shape and having extra lung power from not smoking cigarettes,
Yeah.
I'm going to have a lot of projecting power I haven't had before, and it's
Yeah.
increased my vocal range, as well. So you're still young enough to get away with it, but I'm taking it really seriously. So I put everything away. I put away all the drugs, and I used to smoke weed. I mean, I gave that up. I gave
Yeah.
it all up. Yeah, we got the damn Brandon where I went on vacation with my ex girlfriend, and you guys stayed at my house. And we came home, and there was no weed left because you smoked it
Yeah.
all, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
I didn't really
No,
care.
I still remember that. That was so cool being able to like house sit for you and like it was crazy. Like I think you were in Hawaii or something and like it was just awesome. Like I was just like, man, this is awesome. It
Yeah, you
really
were house
I had a
sitting. You
great
smoked all the weed. I got home, and my ex, yeah, first thing she did was went to go find the weed. It was all gone. Boy, she was pissed off. I didn't. I really didn't care because at that time
Yeah,
um, I could do with or without it. And of course, I grew up in the
yeah,
days of cocaine. We all did
yeah,
mountains of it in the 70s and the 80s. But you know, why I still look so good at my age, I guess is God's plan. Because believe me, I did enough bad things to where
yeah.
I should look 80. Not
It's
45.
crazy, like
I said, well, you got the genes.
dang.
You're African American. You guys and you Asians, you got you guys. Nobody can tell how old you are. Y'all look like kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny.
They absolutely do. All right, I guess we're gonna wind up the stream. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure seeing you. We'll talk privately over the weekend or next week because at this point I'm done talking about it. I want to get together
oh
and
yeah,
we
for
need to
sure.
get together, write something, and record a hip rock song together.
And you told me this a couple years ago, But you also said that I needed some more development, and now I see what you were talking about, like the areas that I needed development in, and I'm still obviously do need some development in some areas, like, but I'm more ready than I was a couple years ago. But I see the stuff that you were kind of talking about and how I was kind of like all over the place in some aspects, like not as focused and stuff, trying to like chase or like get so much done at once that it's like you end up like frazzling yourself or like just yeah, it's like yeah,
You
like
were doing what you were
so
supposed to do, man. You were learning your craft. You were making money. You were making a name for yourself. And now you got 2 records done. I mean, Jason and I recorded 64 demos between the pandemic shutdown on March 20th, 2020 and last January.
64 tracks.
Yes. And
Wow.
I've got this new EP coming out. I have a full 10-song album that I've been sitting on for 8 years. I'll release it at
Hmm.
the proper time. But I mean, we're sitting on at least 3 full-length 10-track albums worth of shit right now
Hmm.
that we haven't
Wow.
even recorded yet. So, but now that I'm here, it makes it difficult. And of course, since April of last year, he's been battling stage 3 colon cancer. So, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah,
he,
sorry to hear that, by the way. I saw the GoFundMe and everything, and like, that it's crazy. Like, I
he's
hope he
doing really good. He's
gets better.
recovered from the second surgery to reattach his small intestine to his colon.
Hmm.
Um, he just did a one show, one song with Brett at the
Hmm.
Music Cares deal, and yeah, in early April,
Hopefully he gets all his energy back though, and he's
well, he has that band Petty
like
Cash.
back on the road.
He's going to do a show at Petty
Hmm.
Cash, and he was in Juliette Lewis and the Licks for 3 years and helped write a few of her hits. So he's doing 3 one-off shows with her, but it'll probably be June before he can't be on a tour bus or a van for 1 or 2 months on tour. So we'll see how those one-off
Yeah.
shows go for him. But he should be done,
Hmm.
uh, you know, the middle to the end of May with all that chemo. So by the time we roll into June, he
Hmm.
should be 100%. And hopefully he will be, and he'll be able to tour with us. And we'll decide if we're going to keep Edgard on and go to 2 guitars. Our music's for 2 guitars. Jason and Edgard are amazing, but Jason can make one guitar sound like 3. He plays through 2 cabs and heads. But I think
Hmm.
my bass player said
Y'all have the technique, the sound for
with
sure.
two
The sound is
guitars,
there.
with Victor Singer on drums and Gabe on bass, me fronting the band, and then Jason and Edgard on guitar. He said that'll be the band from hell. You know what? I like to stay humble, but having another great guitar player where they can play off each
Mhm.
other and swap out leads and all that, it's probably going to be great. I'm pretty excited about it. But anyway, I'm going to say goodbye to you. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, peace,
We'll
man.
put
Peace and
that
love. This was
together. Peace and love
incredible.
to you too. Say hi to Nicole for me. Kiss that beautiful child for me. God
Mhm.
bless you. And everybody, say goodbye to Brandon Ray Thomas and get ready for him to shake the world. And the next year, you're all going to know who he is.
Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. This was awesome. And, we're going to get some more going and stuff. And next time we should do a later one because all my fans and stuff, they'd be sleeping stuff. So, or like, I feel like, next time we do one, we do a night one and we can get more people in here and
Yeah,
stuff
we
too,
could have done it.
obviously.
We can do that. We can do it
Yeah, but this
whenever
was
works
awesome.
best.
Like, this was like, I'm glad we got to uh, tap back into like on the thing and
Right.
like everything that we're doing. It's all like you said, this is all how it's supposed to be. Like,
Exactly, exactly. And I know you're going to be putting your own show up here on Kick, and you're
mhm.
the kind of guy I'd like to have back on my show more than once, and I can be on your show. So we'll talk about it all, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds for both of us, brother. I really am.
One
Yeah.
1 second before you go, make sure you set up your Kick account. So get on to Kick and follow Venray and set up your Kick.
Yeah, go to kick.com/Venray and follow us there, Brandon. and sign up,
Mm-hmm.
and create your own Kick account. And Jason will be in touch with you to help you set up everything to do your own show.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, brother. Talk to you
Okay.
later. Have a good one.
Mm-hmm. You too.
Okay. Okay, so everybody, the new single from the album Sip the Cup, the title track Sip the Cup, music video officially released today. You can watch that on YouTube, Sip the Cup by Venrez, or go to Venrez, Venrez, theband.com. The link's right there to click on it. It also went to all streaming platforms today. So if you use Deezer, or Spotify, or Apple Music, it's there, Sip the Cup by Venrez. Add it to your playlist. And that'll be going to USA Commercial Radio on February 20th. So it'll take about 4 or 5 weeks before that's really into heavy rotation on all the commercial rock radio stations around the country. If you're not hearing it on your local rock station, you can call them and ask them to play it if you'd like. But we're going to be in pretty much every market throughout the United States on that. We've got another show tomorrow, the same time, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time zone, with Math Powerland. Math Powerland is an incredible artist and a comedian, and he's also the grandfather of Flat Earth, actually. He works for NASA, and he's got some interesting conspiracy theories, and we're going to be doing comedy and all kinds of stuff. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow at noon for that. On Monday, we have Jerry Gittleson from Metal Sludge Magazine, and that show is going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and will be at I guess 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then on the 21st at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m., we're going to have the Scott Page. I mean, he's a saxophone player for Pink Floyd. He's played with Supertramp, a whole bunch of huge bands. And through Scott is how I met Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction, who played drums on on our last record. He played drums on 4 tracks because of the pandemic. We couldn't get our drummer over here from France. So we have a lot of great guests coming up. Make sure you turn in tomorrow at noon for Math Powerland, Monday at 2 p.m. with Jerry Gittleson, and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific with Scott Page from Supertramp and Pink Floyd. And we'll see you all tomorrow. We're going to play the music video again in just a couple seconds here as we're ending the show. So stay logged on so you can watch it again right here on kick.com. And make sure you follow us at kick.com/Venrez, Venrez. Lots of love to all of you. We're going to sign off and play the music video directed by Dominic G., executive produced by Pepper Gomez, the owner of our label Wake Up Music Rocks. See y'all tomorrow.
Sharpen all the knives. Reality to give lays within your bed. Safe and cozy hidden in your head. Can't use me in your schemes. Repeating all these things as different means. Sip the cup, tears of blood. Angels watch from high above. Orders from the right, the left begins to fight. Serpents form in line behind the sound of swine. Clash of metal rings, 1,000 voices sing. Wind carries the scent over bodies bent. Can't use me in your schemes. Repeating all these things as different means. Sip the cup, tears of blood. Angels watch from high above. What a sight to see, what will never be. Rivers run deep with the hearts of sheep. Can't use me